Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Ryan here from Free World Outdoors. Welcome to episode number 3. You'll notice that I'm in my garage today doing some work on my boat trailer. So, the first 2 episodes I made for this channel, they were fishing videos where I was out in my kayak, and the reasoning behind that is because my boat was actually going through some maintenance here in the garage. I had to get the trailer fixed. Last month I tried to take the boat out, noticed that the trailer was squeaking quite a bit. So I came back, put it in the garage, and I tried to pull the hubs off so I can examine the bearings, but the hub wouldn't come off. It turns out that the bearings were actually melted to the spindle of the axle. So, I was able to break the hubs off. However, I still got pieces of bearings that are stuck on there. So today I'm gonna go ahead and use my angle grinder, and I'm gonna try to grind those off. That way I can put new bearings and new hubs onto my trailer. I actually went out and bought a new axle. You can see right here. I bought this new axle. However, it didn't come with the proper mounting kit to mount it onto my trailer. So I tried to find the hardware for it. Wasn't anything available. So, I'm kind of back to square one, and I'm just going to go ahead and just repair my original axle and then get that mounted back on there. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. Here's kind of a close-up of the bearings, so you can see how it's melted onto the spindle. This is what it's supposed to look like, and then this is what it looks like. You can see it's melted on there. So I'm going to take the angle grinder, try to grind that off there, and then I'll replace the bearings. And actually bought brand new hubs as well, so I'm going to put those on there. Then hopefully everything will be good, and I can take the boat out tonight or maybe tomorrow morning and do a good fishing video for you guys. Okay, y'all, so I got the bearing off completely now. So as you can see, I cut the spindle a little bit. Doesn't look like it's gonna be too much of a big deal, though. I think we can still use that. But you can see here, this is the piece that was actually stuck on there. I had to pretty much cut through it like that, and then just hit it off with a hammer. But it's good. So I think overall, the axle's still in pretty good condition. And then the other side, right here. There's nothing wrong with that one. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get this mounted back on the trailer. Once I get it mounted back on the trailer, then I'm going to install the hub with the new bearings, and then it should be good to go. Okay, guys, so one thing I recommend is that, if you need to do any work on your axle, like you replace the bearings, or you had the same issue I had where your bearings are actually melted onto your axle, I recommend just leaving your axle attached to your leaf spring. Don't take it off unless you absolutely have to. In this case, I didn't have to take it off. The only reason I took it off was because I was actually planning on replacing the whole axle. So you can see here, this is the new axle that I bought. So I was just going to use that one. However, I couldn't find the right hardware to mount it on there. So I'm probably going to just return that, and then I'm just going to stick with the original axle that I had. But another recommendation, if you guys ever buy a used trailer, I recommend the day you buy it or right after you buy it, take off those hubs and examine those bearings closely. Because chances are, the person that owned it before you, they probably didn't take very good care of it. So take a look at it. If everything's good, then good. Grease it back up. But like I said, chances are you're gonna have to do some work. Probably replace the bearings or the hub. So I highly recommend you do that anytime you buy, a used trailer. This one right here, this trailer was if I had to guess, it's probably built in, late 90s. So it's about 20 years old, and I could tell, like, this one hub, this was the one that had the broken bearing. That one, that's just an old hub there. It's probably been on there for about 20 years now. The bearing's probably never been replaced. And then this one right here, this one actually looks pretty new. If I had to guess, the guy that owned it before me probably replaced that hub and that bearing. So, like I said, highly recommend, buying a used trailer, do an inspection of those hubs and those bearings, and if you have to, just go ahead and replace them. It's going to save you a lot of hassle in the long run. Okay guys, so I got the axle put back on the leaf springs. All I got to do now is, put the hardware back on there and mount it down. It's actually put that piece on there like that and bolt it on. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do that, and then after that I'll go ahead and I'll start installing the hubs. Okay, y'all, so I got the axle installed back on there, as you can see. Got all the hardware mounted back on there pretty good. Everything's nice and tight. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to install the hubs. Alright, y'all, so I got the hub installed. Looks pretty good. One neat thing about this hub kit was that it came with this tool here, which is really just it's the plastic circle that you put over top of the hubcap like that. And then what I did was, I put this wooden block over it like that, and then I hit that with a rubber mallet. So whenever you're installing the hubcap, it gives a nice even distribution all the way around, and helps it, just makes it a little easier to install. So yeah, so like I said, I got both of those on. So now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna install the tires, and then once I get those installed, I'm gonna lower the jacks, and we should be good to go. Alright guys, so I'm done with the hubs on, got the tires back on, everything's tightened down, looks great. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do a test drive here in a little bit. And the good thing is I actually have a spare hub now, because the one that I took off the trailer really didn't have anything wrong with it. So got the spare hub here with some bearings in it, so I'm gonna keep that probably in the toolbox in my truck. That way, if I run into issues on the road, we still have a spare that I can use. So yeah, like I said, everything looks good. I'm gonna do a test run here, and then if everything's running right, probably go fishing tonight. So yeah, I'm gonna post this video, and then if I catch some fish tonight, I'm gonna post that video as well. So thanks for tuning in.